Hey you guys, before I got into the video, I just wanted to talk briefly about my new ebook, Zodiac Signs Sex Language. Whether you're looking to improve your sex life and your dating life, or if you're just looking to expand your knowledge about astrology, this is definitely the right book for you. This book is meant to help you improve your sex life, your dating life, and your love life, your relationships, and to spice it up in the bedroom if need be, or to just once again help you learn more about astrology. So if you're interested in any of these things, if you're interested in learning about the different love languages and the different sex languages of the zodiac signs, definitely look into getting this book, Zodiac Signs Sex Language, written by me, edited by me, and designed by me, Lamarr Townsend. So you can purchase this ebook on my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, or you can purchase it on Amazon, on the Amazon Kindle ebook store, alright? Or just amazon.com. Alright, into the video we go. Thank you for listening and watching. Zodiac sign soulmate. So let's first define exactly what a soulmate is, because we all, or a lot of people I should say, have a lot of different definitions of what a soulmate is. So it's my belief that a soulmate is someone that we have a spiritual connection with, or someone we've had a spiritual union with in a past life. Now, you may not necessarily believe in past lives, but I believe that we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, so as spirits, we tend to inhabit a lot of lives over time, right? So with that being said, throughout lifetimes you develop unions with other people. So as you may come into new lifetimes, you kind of find each other, and it's like an instant connection where it's like, oh, I feel like I know this person, or a lot of times a spiritual soulmate can be someone who is like, there's a really good symmetry possibly in your birth charts. All right, it could be someone that you have like karmic ties to as well. All right, so when it comes to soulmates, it's a very personal thing, but it's also a very spiritual thing as well, in my opinion. So, soulmates. So, it's interesting when we, put this into the context of the zodiacs, because, like I was saying, soulmates, in my opinion, there's a lot of symmetry. There's a lot of past connections, there. So, when you talk about soulmates, I always recommend looking into like a birth chart, with that person. A lot of people, myself, included, I guess, we'll get birth chart, or we'll get psychic tarot readings, about a soulmate, whereas, you should more so probably be getting like a symmetry readings, or a symmetry reading within your birth charts, because that'll allow you more so to look at, where you're really connected, all right? So with this being said, have you ever heard the idiom or the phrase opposites attract? There's a reason why opposites attract. On one hand, opposites are complete opposites, okay? They express life in completely different ways. They go about life in completely different ways. But a lot of times, just like a magnet, there's something that attracts the two of them together. And it's typically symmetry in a chart, or it's typically a soul connection, a spiritual connection. So in that same realm, the soulmates, when it comes to the zodiac signs, a lot of times you can find a soulmate actually in your opposite zodiac sign, okay? So like if you have like a twin flame, if you believe in that, or if you like have a soulmate, a lot of times that person may be like the polar opposite zodiac sign of yours, such as, let's go through all of them and what each zodiac sign's polar opposite is. So Cancer's polar opposite zodiac sign is Capricorn. Okay, so these two, Capricorn and Cancer, are polar opposite zodiac signs. So this can be a good soulmate relationship. Capricorn's an earth sign, Cancer's a water sign, but they definitely have similarities. Capricorn is actually part earth, part water. It's the sea goat, so it's part goat, part fish. So yeah, there's a lot of symmetry going on with that. Virgo's polar opposite zodiac sign is Pisces. Okay, so Virgo is an earth sign, Pisces is a water sign. So these two are polar opposites. Now it's interesting because Virgo is a dreamer, but more so an internal dreamer. They are the ones who are realistic about their dreams. And they do the hard work. The detailed work to make it happen. They cross all their T's and dot all their I's. Whereas Pisces, the water sign, is much more of an outward dreamer. You know, they have big dreams, but they may not necessarily have the wherewithal to, you know, kind of buckle down and focus, you know, focus on the small details to actually see that dream happen. So in that way, these two are opposites, but, you know, they're both dreamers, right? You know, so good symmetry. They can learn a lot from each other. You know, they can do a lot with each other, you know, not just when it comes to love, romance, and things like that. So this can be a really good soulmate relationship. Lastly, of the earth signs and the water signs. And have you noticed the theme? You know, it's earth, water, typically air, fire. All right, so Scorpio's polar opposite zodiac sign. I'm so sorry. Scorpio's polar. Let me turn that off, actually, because it's a client / friend, and he's gonna keep messaging me. I love him. All right, but Scorpio's polar opposite sign is Taurus. By the way, if you want your own personal reading, he wants a reading from me this weekend. So if you want, and he's checking to see if I'm free. If you want your own reading, whether it's a birth chart reading, psychic tarot reading, messages from your spirit guides, or what so have you, message me on my Instagram, my Facebook, which you can find below. Instagram at Lamarr Townsend, Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official, or you can just visit my website, Lamarr Townsend Tarot. Email me at lamarr.townsend@gmail.com. All my contact information is on my website. So, but yes, Scorpio's polar opposite zodiac sign, back on topic, is Taurus. So Taurus is an earth sign, Scorpio's a water sign. So now this is an intense soulmate relationship because these two definitely have a lot of similarities, okay? Scorpio is a water sign, very deep, very intense energies, very possessive in a lot of ways. And Taurus, an earth sign, is very possessive in a lot of ways too. Can be a bit stubborn, okay? But in that same way, they're not someone that can be easily swayed, you know, to get them to do something that they don't want to do. Scorpio is the same way. But in that same way, this can be kind of, you know, a difficult soulmate relationship where you have to overcome the need of like wanting to dominate the other, the need to want to possess the other, right? My Venus is in Scorpio, so I know Scorpios can be very possessive, trust me. All right, Venus is all about romance, how we approach romantic relationships, so I can definitely be a bit possessive in relationships. But in that same realm, with my Venus being in Scorpio, I could probably get along well with either a Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, what so have you, or Taurus Venus, right? Because soulmate, you know, polar opposite energies, opposites attract. So with that being said, did I cover everything I wanted to talk about? Let's go through a really quick mental breakdown of this. I think I covered all topics. Let's move to the air signs and the fire signs. So Libra's polar opposite zodiac sign is Taurus. Or no, I'm sorry. Libra's polar opposite zodiac sign is Aries. So Aries is a fire sign. Very dominant, very aggressive at times. You know, very take charge. Whereas Libra is much more demure, much more social. He likes to be around, you know, crowds of people, you know, beauty, you know, harmony, peace. You know, they love that energy. You know, they're not so impulsive maybe like an Aries is. But, you know, this can be a very passionate soulmate relationship where the two just can't seem to resist one another, all right? Ironically, the two are attracted to the opposition in within one another. Like Libra may be attracted to Aries' impulsiveness and, you know, kind of a self-assertiveness because a Libra may wish that for themselves, and Aries may be attracted to Libra's tact and beauty and kind of ability to stay peaceful and calm because they may wish that for themselves, right? So my moon is in Libra, so I could maybe go along well with a moon in Aries or something like that, right? So your moon is, you know, emotional instincts, you know, emotional reactions to things. So that could actually be a very, I don't know, it could go either or, you know. But all right, moving on. Okay, so let's do Gemini and Sagittarius. So Gemini is an air sign, Sagittarius is a fire sign. Now these two can go along quite well because, you know, Gemini is very unpredictable in a lot of ways. They are someone who likes to have fun. They are someone who is very spontaneous, okay? Very witty, very smart and quick-witted. Sagittarius is just as quick-witted as Gemini, okay? So this is a relationship that can be very fun, very unpredictable, okay? These two make great friends, okay? For sure, all right, within a relationship. Like if someone has these two energies within their chart, they can be very funny in a lot of ways. And they may also be attracted to Gemini and Sagittarius energy as well. You know, like that could be a soulmate connection as well. So now let's move on lastly to Aquarius and Leo. So Aquarius is an air sign who is very, you know, serious, all right, very focused, very dedicated, but can be emotionally detached, okay? Doesn't necessarily like to be out in the spotlight, doesn't necessarily like to be out and about with people all the time, right? Leo is the polar opposite. Leo loves people. Leo, you know, loves to be, you know, sometimes at the center of attention. They love to be adored with attention. They love, you know, kind of attentiveness. And in order to be attentive, you have to have some type of emotional attachment, right? So this can be a relationship of overcoming a lot of obstacles, ironically, you know, between one another. But once getting to know one another, once getting to, you know, understand each other's kind of ways of being, I think there can be a lot of acceptance and a lot of allowing one another to be in a Leo Aquarius relationship. It can be a very, very private relationship where, you know, it's more so a behind closed doors, you know, a relationship. All right, so that is one aspect of soulmate relationships. Let's kind of go zodiac sign by zodiac sign. So let's start with the fire sign. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter it rules expansion, it rules adventure, it rules our ability to be open-minded, okay? So Sagittarius really loves people who are open-minded, who are spontaneous, who love adventure, who maybe wake up one day and say, you know what, I just want to move, you know, maybe not move, but I want to visit Mexico, I want to visit this, I want to go to the beach. Sagittarius loves those kind of people. So Sagittarius, once again, can be attracted to Gemini energy. Sagittarius can also be, you know, find a soulmate, you know, kind of, you know, energy within their own element. So, you know, Aries and Leo, okay? But Sagittarius can also be very emotionally detached. At the same time, they like their space, they like their freedom, so they can actually go along quite well with an Aquarius, okay? Because Aquarius is like their freedom, and they are, you know, very spontaneous in a lot of ways as well. But of course, every relationship has its, you know, things to overcome. So no soulmate relationship is perfect. Aries is very impulsive, very dominant, all right? So, you know, Aries may like someone who is either equally as dominant, you know, or they may like someone who they can kind of who's not as dominant, who may be a little bit more submissive. So Aries can kind of swing both ways, okay? They could go along quite well with a polar opposite sign like Libra, like they may be attracted to that kind of more non-confrontational energy, all right? Because they can sometimes be so confrontational, Aries, or they can be attracted to just as kind of self-assertive energy. So they can, you know, go along quite well with other fire signs of their element. Leo, all right, is a good one. Scorpio is actually a really good one. Scorpio is a water sign, but Scorpio and Aries are both ruled by Mars. So this, you know, Mars rules, you know, aggression, self-assertiveness, things like that. Aries can also kind of go along well with Capricorns. Capricorns is ruled by Saturn, but Saturn is all, you know, very dominant as well, very self-assertive as well. Now, this, you know, can be kind of a weird relationship. No Capricorn Aries relationship is perfect, okay? I myself am a Capricorn, and I've had some good times with Aries men, you know, but it usually, you know, up to this point has burned out just as quickly as it, you know, started, all right? But that doesn't mean that, you know, it can be impossible. Like, you know, if things were like, you know, good with those Aries guys, I guess I could see myself in a relationship with them. I like Aries. They're very protective. They can be a bit possessive, and they're just strong people, and I like that. Moving on, Leo. I'm sorry. Leo is all about Leo's ruled by the sun, so the sun rules self-confidence, alright, it rules creativity, it rules romance and romantic relationships, actually. So Leo is someone who likes a little bit of drama and flair in their relationships. They like to know that they're needed, that they're loved, so they can go along quite well with other kind of passionate signs, such as a Scorpio, alright, such as, you know, the other fire signs, Aries and Sag, but Leos can also go along quite well with I would say actually Cancer, you know, as well. and they like loyalty, you know, so they could actually go along quite well with a Libra, all right? You know, because, you know, Aries also likes people who, you know, Aries, or I'm sorry, I keep saying Aries. Leo can like people who kind of like arm candy, right? And Libras can definitely be arm candy, all right? And they also like people who don't necessarily, you know, Leos can like people who make them shine brighter or who shine a little bit brighter than them, aka arm candy. Or they can, you know, pick people who don't necessarily shine brighter than them, who actually make them shine a little bit more brighter. So, you know, Leo can go both ways. But, you know, I guess in that sense we're talking about ego and not necessarily about soulmates, right? So, but we're talking about energy, so it's all energy. So let's move on to the water sign. So Cancer is ruled by the moon, and the moon rules our emotions, okay, our inner selves, our inner child, our self behind closed doors, whereas the sun is our external self, the moon is our inner self, okay? And our emotional instincts, our emotional reactions, our connection to our family and home. So Cancers tend to be very, you know, sensitive people when it comes to their emotions. They also tend to be very family-oriented people. So when it comes to that, I think that, you know, Cancers also go along quite well with other family-oriented people. Now, of course, like I was saying, they can go along quite well with their polar opposite sign, which is Capricorn. But they also like people who are emotional, who are sensitive, you know, so they can go along quite well with the other elements of the water, you know, Pisces, Scorpio, all right, you know, but they can also go along with the other earth signs, you know, Virgo and Taurus, because, you know, the earth signs are all about stability and the home, and that's what a Cancer values, stability, you know, especially emotional stability. So a lot of times, you know, emotional stability can be related to financial stability and things like that. But anyways, so, you know, Cancers can be, you know, find a soulmate in almost anyone, all right, that makes them kind of come alive, that helps them to come out of their shell. That can be a really big thing with Cancers, is, you know, learning to come out of their shell through the people that they date or, you know, that they have relationships with. Let's move on to Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars. So Pluto rules the subconscious, what lies hidden beneath the surface, all right, the depths of the ocean. And Mars, like I was saying, rules aggression. It rules our sense of self-assertion and things like that. So Scorpio has a lot of energy going on when it comes to soulmate relationships. Scorpio can be the type of person who their energy can be very precise. All right, so when it comes to that, you know, Scorpios can have a tough time when it comes to soulmate energy, because precision can sometimes breed relationships that cause a little bit of uncomfortableness, because precision, in terms of, you know, symmetry and birth charts and things like that, meaning, like, you know, Scorpios are attracted to a specific type of people, you know, usually, you know. Now, you know, generally, you know, these people have, you know, dark features, dark hair, something like that maybe, or they just may have a kind of a very, you know, kind of mysteriousness about them. All right, you know, Scorpios tend to be attracted to people who don't put themselves out there totally. So Scorpios, like I was saying, can be attracted to you know, Capricorns, you know, certain earth signs, but they also like people who are very dominant, you know, and very assertive, so they can definitely be attracted to the fire signs as well. So Scorpios are an interesting energy, you know, when it comes to soulmates with them. It's deeper, okay, and that's Pluto. That, you know, that's Pluto all the way. It's a deeper, you know, it's usually, you know, a soulmate, spiritual energy tied in with karma, you know, tied in with, you know, because the 8th house, Pluto, also rules transformation and evolution, okay, and rebirth and death. So when it comes to karma, you know, and things like that, you know, we're constantly experiencing deaths and rebirths, all right? So it's deep when it comes to Scorpio, all right? Moving on to Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Sorry, so many planets, just so much. Pisces is ruled by Neptune and Jupiter. So Neptune rules spirituality, the metaphysical, soul, solitude, and soul growth. So, and Jupiter also rules expansion, like I was saying with Sagittarius, because Sagittarius and Pisces are both ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules expansion. It rules our ability to be open-minded, to be tolerant, to be accepting of other people, you know, and things like that. So when it comes to Pisces, they're someone who tends to be very spiritual, kind of like Scorpio, very precise when it comes to what they're attracted to, what's attracted to them, you know, things like that, what they connect with on a spiritual and physical level. because they are also very physical creatures, just as all humans are, but they're also very spiritual with that Neptune energy. So Pisces tend to spend a lot of time thinking, a lot of time spiritually feeling things out. So they need someone who has that same energies. Now, of course, they can go along quite well with the other water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, because the water signs alone are just very intuitive. But they can also go along quite well with actually, Scorpios, because Scorpio is ruled by Jupiter, and they have that symmetry going on. But the great thing about Pisces and Jupiter is that because of Jupiter's ability to be open-minded, to be tolerant, Pisces can actually find soulmate relationships with almost anyone, because when you're open-minded to life, life has a lot to teach you. All right, and life can teach you a lot of things through your relationships, through other people. So let's move on now to what else do we have? We did fire, we did water, now let's do air. Let's start with Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So Venus rules romance, romantic relationships, how we approach romantic relationships. It rules harmony, all right, peace and beauty. So, like I was saying, Libras are, very peaceful people. They're attracted to peaceful energy. They're attracted to harmoniousness. So they like relationships that are typically easy breezy. But Libras can also be attracted to that kind of polar opposite energy where, it can be very aggressive and very, spontaneous. So Libras can, like I was saying, go along with their polar opposite energy, like an Aries, a Scorpio. Scorpio may be a little bit, but an Aries, a Leo actually can be, good with a Libra. But Libras are very social. Like I said, my moon is in Libra, so they're social. They typically like people who get along with, their family and things like that. So they can go along with other people who, have a little bit of tact in them, all right, and things like that. So they can go along quite well with the other air signs. People who think before they act, right? That's air signs, a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I'll say this, a lot of people tend to be attracted to Libras as well. So, a Libra can find a soulmate almost within anyone, but Libras, because they're ruled by Venus, have to be very careful because they can be too giving of themselves, okay? And that I'm speaking as a Libra moon. Let's move on to Gemini. So Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules communication, intellect, and the mind. So Geminis tend to be attracted to a mental connection. Okay, that's very important for them, and there's no one else you're going to find a mental connection with than an air sign. So Geminis tend to go along quite well with the fellow air signs, which is, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, right? But Geminis also, because they're symbolized by the twins, and one twin wants to do this, one twin wants to do that at any given moment, all right? They can also like a bit of spontaneity and unpredictableness. They don't like boredom. None of the fire signs or the air signs really like boredom. The fire signs don't like boredom either, all right? I don't know why I said that. But, so, Geminis can be very attracted to fun energy, people who are fun, people who are unpredictable. So like I was saying, they can go along quite well with their polar opposite energy, Sagittarius. They can also go along quite well with Aquarius. I already said that, but they can go along quite well with a Sag, a Leo, all right. They actually can go along quite well with Virgos, because Virgos are also ruled by Mercury. So but Virgo's an earth sign. Alright, so let's move on now to Aquarius. So Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn. So Uranus rules unpredictableness. It rules how we work in groups, how we function in groups, our sense of true inner purpose in life, our sense of true identity in the world, okay, in society at large. It also rules our friends and acquaintances, and how we approach our personal goals and aspirations in life, okay? Now, Saturn rules career, profession, and status in society. And we'll get into this a little bit with Capricorn, because Capricorn and Aquarius are both ruled by Saturn. So when it comes to that, Aquariuses tend to kind of be very precise in the energy that they're attracted to. Of course, they can be attracted to other air signs because they value a mental connection. All the air signs value mental connections. So, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But the air signs can also be attracted to very kind of strong people who are a bit emotionally detached, because they themselves can be emotionally detached. They don't like clinginess. So they can also be attracted to, Capricorns as well. And, that kind of energy, Capricorns, Aquariuses can be loners, all right? Aquariuses can be people who, don't necessarily always function, the best, or, want to function in one-on-one relationships. They work best in group, settings, and that's really a fact, about Aquariuses. They can sometimes have trouble with one-on-one relationships. The skills necessary to cultivate them, to keep them going, can sometimes be difficult for Aquarius. It just is what it is. They're the water bearers, so they're used to doing things for groups of people. Remember, it's how we work in groups. It's not how we work in one-on-one relationships, right? So just something to keep in mind. Moving on, let's move to the lastly, the earth sign. So let's start with Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and Venus rules friendship, harmony, how we approach romantic relationships. It also rules how we make our money and how we spend our money. So with that being said, Tauruses are definitely attracted to hardworking people, and there's no other hardworking zodiac signs you'll find. Maybe the fire signs, and some of the water signs. All right. But, there's no other hardworking signs you'll find than an earth sign. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, okay? And Taurus is no exception, okay? Taurus values people who are hard workers. So, of course, Taurus can be attracted to, the earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Tauruses can also get along quite well because, they're attracted to passion, and they can be very tough themselves. So they can be attracted to kind of fiery energy in a way. So, Libra, Gemini, or Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. Taurus can go along quite well sometimes with Libra, alright, because they're both ruled by Venus, but, sometimes Taurus likes to stay in, Libra likes to go out. It's a lot with that, but typically Taurus values hard workers, people who, that they don't have to worry about, doing anything that they shouldn't be doing, all right? Speaking of that, let's move to Virgo. Virgos are ruled by Mercury. Mercury rules communication, intellect, and the mind. So Virgo is attracted a lot of times to a mental connection, but being an earth sign, they're also attracted to stability, okay, and hard workers. So Virgos get along quite well with the other earth signs, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. But like I said, they can also, be attracted to a mental connection, so they can go along quite well. And find themselves in soulmate situations with, Geminis a lot of times because they're both ruled by Mercury. But Virgos can also be a little bit attached. They can have this weird way of being attached and detached at the same time. My rising sign is in Virgo. So they like a little bit of that, but not too much. So they can go along quite well with the air signs, or not the air signs, the water signs as well. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. And some of the fire signs, Leo specifically, okay, and probably Leo the most, okay, but Virgo and Aries can definitely be attracted to one another too. Lastly, Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn rules career, profession, status, and society. It also rules time, the past, and karma. So Capricorns are very, very selective, very, very cautious of who they choose to form relationships with, and soulmates are no exception. Okay, so a Capricorn being ruled by Saturn definitely values people who are hard workers, who seek to make something of themselves. So naturally a Capricorn is going to be attracted to other earth signs a lot of the times, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but Capricorns can also be attracted to passion and fun, and sometimes things that they maybe shouldn't be attracted to. Okay, so but at the same time, they can be attracted to fun because they can be people who tend to work a lot. So a lot of the situations Capricorns find themselves in is people who kind of bring Capricorn out of their shell, and it's interesting that we just kind of said that earlier with Cancer, who's their polar opposite zodiac sign. But Capricorn can also be attracted to other people who are ambitious, who are, hardworking, who seek to provide, who seek to back up their words, and whose bark and bite is just as lethal. So Capricorns can go along quite well with Scorpios, and Cancers, like I was saying as well. They can also go along, you know, with Libras, because Capricorns are very chill people, you know, as well. So, you know, Capricorns, and they can sometimes work really well with Aquarius, you know. So, no zodiac sign is the same, no person is the same. Like I said, we all have different energies going on within us. That's why we have to get a birth chart reading. We're not just our sun sign, which so many people think, you know, when people ask you what is your zodiac sign, what they're really asking is what is your sun sign, knowingly or unknowingly. So it's so important to know what your moon sign is, your rising, your Venus, your Mercury, your first house, your fifth, your second. I mean, there's so much that goes into this. So if you would like a birth chart reading, contact me on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I do individual birth chart readings, compatibility birth chart readings, where I look at the overall compatibility of you and another person. I do love compatibility birth chart readings, where I focus on the love aspects of you and another person within your birth chart, such as certain literal aspects you may have, such as trines and conjunctions and things like that, but also, you know, the main focal points, such as your Venus signs, your moon signs, your Mars signs, your Mercury signs, the meeting of the minds, right? Also your fifth house and your seventh house. So I also do birth chart readings for your business, and I also do birth chart readings for children. Okay, and I do so many different types of psychic tarot readings. I do one-on-one psychic tarot readings via Instagram, Facebook, phone, Skype, which are more expensive. I do email readings. I do so many different types of readings. So if you would like to check all those out, check them out on my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com. I also do video readings, which I record myself doing your reading, and I email the video back to you via Google Drive. So yes. I appreciate your support. Please like this video, share, subscribe. Okay, follow me on my Instagram at Lamarr Townsend, and like me on my Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend Official, or just type in Lamarr Townsend Tarot in the search bar on Facebook. Thank you so much for your support, love and light, and catch you in the next video. Have you been wanting to get a reading from me? Well, it's easy. Let's go through it together. So all you do is you visit my website, LamarrTownsendTarot.com, and you can visit the site on your computer or on your phone, and you click the store button right here at the top of the page, and here are all my services that I offer. I do candle offerings and all different types of birth chart readings and psychic tarot readings, messages from your spirit guides, and so much more. So you click the one that you want, you click the Pay with PayPal button, and it'll take you to the PayPal page where you can pay for your reading. Now, you'll hear from me within 24 hours, you know, for your reading confirmation, and then I'll get your reading back to you within a 48-hour period. Usually, you know, it's, you know, a day or less, okay? So I look forward to reading for you. Thank you for your support.